Well, hello, everybody. I'm here today with Ashley Jefferson, founder of Very Ashley in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, Ashley. Welcome to this week's Business Spotlight.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Great. Really appreciate you taking some time today. Let's get right to the questions. So, Ashley, tell me a little bit about your business, Very Ashley.
Yes, so Very Ashley is a women's boutique, a clothing store, and we offer event pieces and occasional wear for the woman who is the beauty and the boss of her life. So if you have to go to work, yes, we have apparel for that too, but a lot of our demographic or a lot of our customers, they are going out, they have cocktail meetings, they have business dinners, they actually go to galas and all the things like that. So we are the one-stop shop for them to get everything for their wardrobe.
Nice. And so is this a brick and mortar as well as online?
Yeah, we are brick and mortar and online as well.
Excellent. Excellent. So you mentioned some of your demographic, a little bit more on that. I mean, who's your best customer? I mean, who's your target audience?
Yes, so my target audience is a woman. She's between 30 and 59. She's either a business owner or somewhere in the C-suite level of her job. She probably travels a lot, at least 4 times a year, typically for business. She does a lot of business meetings, a lot of business dealings, things of that nature. She's actually the lady who might be, I think that it's boss women is like a thing now, but when we really zone in on our target customer, it's not a hobby. Like, this is really her life. And so we do try to find ways to reach out to her, because typically she doesn't have a lot of time to go shopping for clothes, especially if she has a family on top of her career. So we have to, our key thing is making really great personal relationships with our clients. So we know exactly what they want, exactly what their style is. We do something called clienteling quite a bit. And that way, when we get new items in, we know exactly who to go to, say we have this in, we send them lookbooks, and they're able to kind of flip through that, say, I want that, I don't want that. And they can do this while they're on the plane, while they're in the Uber, whatever.
That's excellent. And then they could order that online on your online site, right?
Absolutely. Or they'll come in. A lot of times we come in, our brick and mortar is located right next door to Saks Fifth Avenue. So
Nice.
Typically she would run into there and then come right to Very Ashley as well.
Yeah, that is great. That's a great model, and a great personal type of thing that you're doing by sending that to them. So is this something that when you were growing up, you always wanted to do?
Oh my goodness. So it's funny you asked that, because I guess I did, but I didn't really know that this is something that I wanted to do. So when I was in high school, I used to sell candy to the other high school kids. And so I feel like, entrepreneurship was always kind of in me, but I didn't really know that that's what that was at the time. I really just wanted money to hang out with my friends after school, and my parents were not having it. They were like, no, we're not giving you any money. So that was really all it was. But I got into the fashion portion. Actually, I went to university in New York City, and I would model while I was in college. And I went for communications, got into journalism. And sounds like a long story, but it's almost going to come to an end. When I got to journalism, I started doing a lot of beauty journalism. And that entered into the world of human hair extensions. And so I started seeing how much money that the human hair extensions were making. And I said, I can do that. So it kind of went into this thing. And then fast forward all these years now, and in 2019, I opened Very Ashley, which was taking my fashion, which is something I really like to do, which was modeling and such, and mixing it with my entrepreneurial talents, I guess. So
Nice.
Very long-winded answer.
No, that's excellent, because everybody, you have a journey that you're on in life, and sometimes it's funny how one thing can lead to the next, when maybe they don't even seem like they're going to be connected, but they somehow are. So that's great. So what's been your biggest issues that you've had to overcome with the business?
Oh my gosh, can we be real? The pandemic was not a joke. And and I guess now that we're post-pandemic, I guess that's safe to say, I don't know, but that was a struggle. And so I didn't get the idle loans, and I mean, I rarely got anything for the PPP loan. So I really had to work extra hard. And so that was a tough time. But now that we're out of that time, I think it was actually really good for me. And that's because I really had to learn, like, so we call ourselves entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs are creatives, especially when those of us who are like born this way. So it's kind of like how your mind just starts thinking, how can I make this business work? Especially when you love it and you don't want it to die. Like I didn't want to close my business. So I just started thinking of all these ways for me to kind of keep working and for my business to keep going. Even though we were shut down, didn't have any money. Last year was pretty good, but we were still kind of getting out of everything. So people were like slowly coming outside. So that's when the clienteling got involved. And we weren't even really doing any online sales until pandemic. The whole concept of clienteling and really reaching out to your customer one-on-one, tailoring their retail experience through the omnichannel, that was amazing for me. And I have to say, it was probably the best thing ever for me that I went through that hard time, because it just kind of forced my brain to like shift and think things in another way. And now in 2022, and then the projections for 2023 are amazing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be here.
That's really, yeah, a great mindset to have, because you're right, brick and mortars, they took a hit in the pandemic. I mean, and businesses were either thrived from it, because some did actually thrive, and others had to really be innovative and pivot. And it sounds like that's what you did with the clienteling and how you did that. Is there any other actions that you took because of the pandemic?
Those were the main things that I did. I mean, also, and to be honest, those are really the main things. I mean, I did have to kind of scale down as far as inventory purchasing. I had to scale down as far as, my human capital. I had to really scale down in that regard. But there were some things that I wanted to do that we just couldn't do financially because the money just wasn't there, like certain travel that we wanted to take. So just really quickly, one way that we get clothes for the store, that we source clothes for the store, is we go to trade shows all throughout the country. And that just wasn't happening during the pandemic. And then even post-pandemic in 2021, they were happening in small increments, but the money wasn't there for me to finance that and buy the inventory. So I had to just really just kind of limit that travel. I had to work more. I didn't have, the staff that I had pre-pandemic. So, I mean, those were the things. But I think the main thing was really getting to know the customer better, building that relationship with the customer via the omni-channel, which is in-store and online, and now also on social media. And then clienteling, it's just, we just can't beat that. And come to find out, a lot of luxury brands do clienteling anyway. So, we weren't really reinventing a wheel at all, but we were kind of ushering ourselves into a new level of service. And so now, So
I mean, it sounds like it did a couple things. Number one, it gave you another avenue for people to buy from you, directed you to the online side because of the pandemic, and kind of elevated your business to the next level of luxury for
absolutely. So pre-pandemic, our average order value, believe it or not, was $50. Post-pandemic in 2022, and I promise I'm not lying, our average order value is $180.
Great.
So we really jumped up in that regard. And when we know what the customer wants, the brands that they want, we have more national brands in the store now. And we have that relationship with the customer. They trust us, they come in for what we have, and it just really worked out. So it was really probably the best thing for my business.
Yeah, that is really great. One of the things that we talk about with our clients is, the mastery level of business. And one of the 4 levels of mastery is how you deliver, right? Delivery mastery. And part of that is making it easy to buy, right? Yeah. And so the clienteling that you're talking about, that's really making it easy to buy for those folks, and so that is great. Congratulations on that. So
thank you.
What has been one of your biggest learnings, or what are your biggest learnings in business and in life?
Oh, in life. I got to think about the in life part, but I think in business, something that I wish that I had done when I first started was to hire help right away. And if anyone is starting a business, I would say hire help right from the beginning and factor that into your business plan, your strategy, and into your finances right from the beginning. So you have a rent, or if you're an online business and you have to pay for the hosting and all that stuff, factor in that help right from the beginning, because as an entrepreneur, we must be able to be CEOs and presidents of our business. If we spend all of our time being the sales clerk or the janitorial staff or even the accountant, like, I'm really not good with numbers. So I still use my fingers and toes, and sometimes I draw pictures just to add. That takes up a lot of time when my accountant now, she can run numbers in her head like a wizard, you know? So what's easy for her and would only take her 10 minutes to balance my entire month. For me, it literally took 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 days of wasted time. So it's just so much better to hire people right from the beginning. And I think that would have saved a lot of time and a lot of sweat equity, and definitely a lot of time and money too, because you waste money when you're not doing the things that you need to do as a CEO entrepreneur.
That's right. Not focusing on that strategy of growth for your business. So that's a great learning, and because we see it all the time. People are, you know, they lose $1,000 to try to save $5, right?
Right, right.
Because as an entrepreneur, your value to your business is pretty high. You know, if you were to figure the hourly value, you know, not what you're paying yourself, but their hourly value, it's huge. And so you're doing book work, which you can pay a bookkeeper $20 an hour to do, you know, so it doesn't make sense sometimes, but it's that mindset. So that is a great learning. So what have you learned about yourself during this journey?
Oh my gosh. One thing, it may sound cliche to you, but self-care is really important. And I think, you know, when you are an entrepreneur, you are running and doing a lot of things. And there are times when you really forget, you know, and not on purpose, but you kind of forget to take care of yourself. You forget family and friends and so on and so forth. So right now, I really don't schedule any meetings before 9 a.m. My mornings are my meditative hours. I must have my coffee or tea, and I must, you know, just spend that quiet time to kind of recharge my brain. That is really important. I used to not do that. I used to just rush through the day. As soon as I jumped out the bed, my phone was in my hand. Like the first thing I checked was an email. And I'm like, well, this is not the way, this is just not going to help me out. And so I have to have my mornings to myself. I'm an early bird, so it's easy for me to wake up at 6 a.m. or earlier. And then also I do schedule 2 hours a week to watch television, and I love it because I would get my 2 hours. I put it in a schedule, and it's usually somewhere on a Friday if I could stand it. But sometimes the schedule just allows for Tuesday, you know, 2 hours, and I curl up on my sofa with my little dog, and we watch 2 hours of trash TV, and it's so amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. You got to take that time, and
Yes.
it's all about that balance. And when you look at levels of who you have to serve yourself first, because if you don't, you're not in a position to serve anybody else, self, family, you know, and the business actually isn't, when you do that, it's not always at the top. There's several other layers, right?
Right. And I do find that a lot of times as entrepreneurs, a lot of the things that we do are very relational. We're very relationship driven, a lot of networking. So you always have to be positive. You don't want to have a grumpy day and then you meet somebody who could be a potential client or another business partner in some regard, and you're kind of grumpy, you know, you don't catch the little jokes that people pass at you because you didn't sleep enough or because you didn't have your morning or to yourself or watch television. So, so that's what I learned for myself.
Great. So Ashley, what's the future look like for Very Ashley, and what do you see as some of the main challenges as you move forward?
We are growing, and we are currently looking for our next location. So we're opening a second store, hopefully in February of 2023, but anytime in 2023 is fine. We're actually looking to move to Virginia Beach.
Oh, nice.
So I have quite a few customers that I ship to in Virginia Beach,
Mhm.
and very often they drive up from Virginia Beach to come to my stores. So I'm like, oh my goodness, maybe I should just open something down there. So that's kind of the next move, is to open a second location. And I do not live in Virginia Beach, so I'm really just going where the love is. And so
Mhm.
that could be a little tough trying to scout out the right location and all the things when I'm not there.
Mhm.
But I'm sure we'll find a way.
Yeah, I mean, Virginia Beach is actually the biggest city in Virginia, believe it or not.
Yeah.
You think of Northern Virginia as having big cities, but there's just a lot of cities,
Yeah.
there's a lot of population up there, but a lot of cities. So just two more questions. What advice would you give to anyone thinking of going into business?
Do it. It's fun, even if you fail. I mean, this isn't my first successful business. This isn't my first business. This might be my first successful one. But
Mhm.
it's not my first business. The other ones failed. That's fine. Life goes on. Start another one, but really give it your time and your hard-earned effort. And then the second tip was something I already said before. Aside from self-care, anybody should do that, entrepreneur or not, but you need to factor in the help and put that in right from the beginning. And I think, honestly, that's paramount. We just cannot do it all on our own. And I think we do ourselves a grave disservice when we just try to do all the things. You cannot grow that way. You cannot scale your business that way when you do not have help. And so briefly, I mentioned I had other businesses that failed. They did fail because I was trying to do it all on my own. And that's just not how humans are made. And
Right.
so we have to have people. So when you create your business plan, be sure to highlight your discrepancies and where you are not a superstar.
Mhm.
And that's where you factor in the cost of who can help you and who is a superstar in that area. And
And
if,
that is
yeah.
great advice, actually, really good advice. So last questions, any offers that you'd like to include in the newsletter?
Oh my gosh, please come in and come to Very Ashley, all my women. And actually, a lot of men are coming too, because it's a holiday. We get a huge influx of men coming to buy things for their wives and their daughters. Please come to Very Ashley. And I would love to give you guys 20% off of your purchase if you mention Action Coach Business Coaching. Just mention it to us at the cash register. So this is in-store only. And you can also call if you mention it on the phone, because we do phone orders as well, believe it or not, but we will not be putting this online. This is a private discount, okay? So you come on in, we'll give you 20% off of your purchase.
Well, that is extremely generous, Ashley. Thanks so much for that.
Welcome.
So this wraps up the interview, Ashley. Really nice job. Thanks so much for taking time with us today.
Thank you so much.